All right. Hopefully this turns out okay. So you sent me the game file that was pre-recorded, and you have the audio from your Discord channel, and I'm assuming it's the friends you're playing with. That's perfectly fine. I hope that the audio levels for my voice is high enough where you can hear it over the Discord audio of you and your friends talking. Because I don't I'm gonna try and like pause the video whenever I want to talk for that reason to make sure that my voice is clear. But just in case I forget, feel free to comment either on the video or like ping me on Discord if you need clarification for something I said in the video because you couldn't hear it because the audio levels weren't it wasn't high enough. So feel free to let me know if something like that happens.
If I see a rat miss one trick, I'll actually piss my pants.
So right off the bat, I can tell. Let's see what game this is. You have your so Tryndamere, Warwick, Morgana, Caitlyn. See if I can find this game in your here. Okay. So you're silver 2. At least this season so far, you've been playing Warwick basically the vast majority of the time. Looks like you tried Olaf for a few games. It didn't go great. You went back to Warwick, which is fine. I think Warwick's a great jungler. Let's see. So this specific game, you actually ended up winning, so that's good. But I'm still gonna try and find things that either you did wrong or did less efficiently, or maybe a mistake you made and how could it turn around. I think your comment to me when you sent me this game was that even though you won, you think you could have closed it out a lot sooner. So I'll try to touch on that and see if there were ways you could have done that. It's easier when you send in a game that you lost for me to point out mistakes you made and how to do it, because sometimes when you win a game, and this goes for even me too, like if I'm playing a game and I win, even if I made 20 mistakes that game, if the outcome was that I won, it's harder for me to pick out those mistakes. Either I didn't get punished for them and that's why I still won the game, or I don't notice they were mistakes because even though I didn't play something optimally or the right way, my enemy was bad enough where my like bad version of doing something still worked, if that makes sense. So try to keep an open mind if I point something out in this game that maybe it's a decision you made that might have worked in this game, but I'm gonna try and point out that even if it worked in this game, it might not work all the time, and I want to teach you like the more general optimal way to do things, because over an extended period of games, doing something the right way will get you more wins overall, even though in one instance it might not have. Okay, let's see. So Caitlyn, Morgana, great bottom lane. Oh no, Syndra, what the hell? Syndra, Morgana, are they switching or are they? They might switch. We'll see. Yeah, okay. Well, Morgana's definitely going bot. So it's gonna be Caitlyn, Morgana. Syndra's going mid. Syndra and Katarina will be interesting. If she gets behind, that's a lane you'll have to keep track of. Caitlyn, Morgana should be able to push into a Lucian Nami. However, Lucian Nami is pretty impressive as well. I think both your bot and your mid lane could go either way. So as the jungler, you want to keep that in mind. Tryndamere gets hard shit on by a top lane Nocturne early. Once he gets level 6, he's a little better. But hopefully he doesn't get behind early, or else he's gonna have a very hard time in lane. And that Nocturne's gonna get really, really annoying. I wouldn't fuck around with the invade 2. Yeah, good. I'd go back because even though you have the Morgana and the Syndra, it's like Syndra's okay for invading. Caitlyn's okay. She has a long range auto attack. Morgana's good with her stun. They have the Nami. They have who also can have a lot of early game CC. They have the
So
Lucian, and then Kha'Zix will do more damage than you will level 1. So don't like if you can pick someone off with a Morgana bind, great,
weird,
take it.
Kha'Zix
But if
is
not,
better,
don't do too much with that invade. I think this is fine. You're starting blue, so let's see how you go. Also, because you sent me like the pre-recorded video, I'm watching it in VLC, and this like bottom bar is gonna keep popping up. Hopefully that doesn't, like, if that's blocking the minimap for something that I want to point out, I'll just have to wait for it to go away. So that might be a little annoying sometimes, but hopefully it doesn't happen too often. I'll try not to touch my mouse if I can. Okay, good. You're starting Gromp. And you do the smite trick. Okay, so a little trick right there. I'm just gonna point it out because you almost did it. So if you are Warwick and you're coming this way, right? So let's say that the blue buff still has let's say it's still alive, but it has like, if this is the health bar, it's very, very low. It's got like this much health left, right? If you can walk this way, what you actually want to do, when you're still level 1, is smite the Gromp. It'll aggro to you, and then use your Q to finish off the blue buff, and you'll kill blue buff, and you would have aggroed the Gromp to you. It's just a quick little way to save time. I'm only pointing it out because you like almost did it, and you already have kiting down, so you already kited the blue buff to Gromp, which is great. That's like step 1. So then step 2 is when you're here, just smite the Gromp, and then it will get your health back. Put your smite on a timer, which is good because you have 2. But by the time that Scuttle comes up, you want to save your second smite for Scuttle. It would have refreshed the timer, and then the Gromp will aggro to you, saving time because it'll walk to you as you finish blue. Then you don't have to go find it. It's just one of many like little things in the jungle you can do to try and save some time. So you do that, you get Gromp, which is good. Gromp is like good to get now in your 3 camp rotation to get level 3. You're checking lanes, which is good. Trinimir's about to die. So can you help Trinimir out? No, he's dead. Leave. Good. Like I said, even before the game started, Trin gets shit on by Nocturne early game. He has to know that. Nocturne will bully Trinimir into level 6.
I don't have my water.
And Trinimir's whole goal is to not get so far behind that once he reaches 6, he can now play the lane normally. Because if Nocturne gets too far ahead, even if Trinimir gets level 6, Nocturne can still bully the crap out of him. And Nocturne roams like a madman because of his ultimate, so you gotta keep that in mind too. Let's see. Okay, so you have... Okay, so see, I'm gonna pause. So, this is fine. However, the reason why I said... And this might end up working out fine, but the reason why I said you want to use your smite on the second camp you do is because now you have a 15-second timer, and it might work out perfectly, but Scuttle's coming up soon, and the first Scuttle is very, very, very important. So you always want to have your smite up for Scuttle. So I think it's going to end up being up in your case, which is fine, but you don't want to cut it close if you don't have to. Just a tip. Okay.
They're pushing into us.
Okay, this is fine. You notice they're pushing in. You try and catch them off guard. If they hit a bind, this is all on you. I'd go. This is too late. You have to be there. Okay, so you played that very poorly. I'll point that out in a second. Hold on. I'll wait till this finishes, then I'll rewind. You're not going to get anything, are you? She did bind?
Go.
Okay, nice.
Nice.
Okay, so you got bot. However, I want to point out 2 things. One...
You could alcove game.
Oh, this is a little too far.
They're pushing in.
There we go. Okay, so let's get this up. So so you notice they are pushing in. Great. That's like step 1. Good job. You decided to alcove gank. Again, that's a good choice because you noticed they were pushing in ahead of time. So you went into lane to get ready and timed it so that when they pushed past, you were there ready. Perfect lane gank. This is actually, the setup here is actually fine. This is very good. Right here. Stop. Okay, so again, it's a little annoying. I only have your video, so I can't like pan around the map and point things out on my own. But see how far up they are? So see where the minions are? Those 2 minions are missing health, and we can assume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll assume there's a 6th one back there. You know that minion waves come in groups of 6, so you know that you have 6 here because that was a brand new minion wave on your end. So your minion wave is now pushing into them passively. So unless they actively start attacking your minions, which they haven't yet because they're all still full health, you're actually going to lose time on your gank. So what you want to do is you need to know this and be saying, okay, since that the lane's now pushing back, I need to be thinking the second I get an opportunity to like gank, I need to sprint out there. and that second is right here. So see how Nami's stepping in front right here? When Nami, so they're both missing health. Nami stepped up. You need to sprint out this way. And what you need to do is, as Warwick, I'm not saying you would have, I have no idea, but you never, ever, ever want to sprint at them. The reason why is that if you sprint at them this way, they're going to see you right here when you pop out of the alcove before you go back into the bush, and they're going to start running back. And then if you keep going this way, they're already going to be somewhere back here, and you're not going to be able to hit them. What you want to do is sprint this way. That way, because they're still going to see you at the same point, but they're going to start running back, and they're going to run right into you. And that way, you still get your gank off. And you need to leave, like, right now. If you keep waiting, either two things will happen. Either one, they are going to successfully push this wave and then back off, so you're going to miss your opportunity to gank. Or two is that Caitlyn is going to get chunked out in a trade by the Nami Lucian, because Caitlyn knows you're here. So Caitlyn's going to try and like sit here and like try to bait them into engaging on her. But if you're not going to come out, then her bait turns into her just getting like absolutely blasted, and now it's actually a negative because they're just going to kill Caitlyn before you even come out. So let's see what ends up happening. So you keep waiting. So you ping it. So you've pinged it, and Morgana's already engaged. So this is already too late. So it was already too late to begin with, but now that Morgana's engaging and you're still just kind of sitting here, this is way too late. And the reason why is because I want you to try and put yourself in the mind of the enemy bot lane. So if you are the Lucian right now, let's just say, right? And you're sitting there and you say, huh, that's weird. Morgana just ran up past her minions into our minions to take all this aggro and W'd us. So the enemy bot lane is going to say one of two things. Either one, the Morgana's fucking stupid because they're going to turn on the Morgana and blast her, and all the minions are going to now aggro the Morgana. So she's going to take a ton of damage and not be able to get out of it. Or, more likely, the Morgana's not stupid and she has a reason to go in a bad position to engage, aka her jungler's helping her. So by Morgana coming out this far and engaging, she's telling the bot lane that my jungler's here. She's not necessarily saying that you're here, like maybe you're in this bush up here, but she's telling them that you are ganking. So the fact that they now know you're ganking by her engaging on them, and you're still sitting here, is just making your chance to have this gank successful even worse and worse and worse, because they're now aware that something's going on, and you need to already be out here so they don't run. They're gonna start either running away or engaging on Caitlyn, because that's what they would do. If they can tell they're gonna get ganked, they're going in panic mode. They're saying either we're running away or we're trying to all in the Caitlyn to get a trade if we're gonna die. And that's what they do. It looks like they all in the Caitlyn, and now you come really late. So Caitlyn already dies, and then Nami gets away because you and Morgana can't decide who to target, and Lucian's dumb and comes back this way, so you end up getting the Lucian in the end. So
nice.
The gank, the setup, and the idea, perfect. Absolutely, like that was great. No issues there. The execution was very delayed, and you got your Caitlyn killed there.
Nami flashed.
I don't know which one of your friends are which champion, and unless it becomes obvious, I'm not gonna try and guess. But you killed your Caitlyn there. Okay, that's good. The Nami was dumb and went into her jungle, and you went to go check on it, which is good by you.
It really isn't for nothing.
So you ended up getting a free kill there. Now, how can you push his advantage? You know their bot lane's dead, so you're taking Scuttle. This is good. Where is... Sorry, I'm looking at the minimap, but the stupid white bar at the bottom. I think I can see your Caitlyn. So if you're Caitlyn, the only thing I'd say here, see this timer? You know that Gromp is coming up, and you still have your sweeper. So what I would have done here is I would have ran into the enemy jungle, used your sweeper to look for wards in the bush next to blue, as well as the area right beyond blue. And then because... Oops. Oh boy. Because because your Caitlyn's here, again, I'm so sorry about the white. There you go. Because your Caitlyn's here, and you know their bottom lane is dead, you just killed both of them. Even if their jungler ends up being somewhere in this area, you can still, if you ping your Caitlyn to come support you, if you invade, you can 2v1 the jungler. So I would have gone in here, use your sweeper to look for wards, and then spam pinged your Caitlyn to come support you, steal the Gromp, and then immediately leave. And the reason why you have to immediately leave afterward is because if you stay, spawn timers are very, very quick in the early game. So even though you killed their bot lane, they're gonna be back on the map pretty quickly. So if you take Gromp and then let's say you try to like stay in their jungle and like get wolves or do something else, by that point in time, their bot lane will be back, and now you're in a 3v2 scenario with a Caitlyn that should have already backed because she's gonna be a little weaker, and you will automatically lose that. So I would stay for the Gromp, ping your Caitlyn along, and then that's it. The alternative you can do, which I'm going to assume you know your jungler ganked mid because he ganked mid when you went bot. That was the trade. So he's probably already gotten this top scuttle. You can kind of bank on that he has that. So I would take these two camps and then look topside for a gank if I were you. Alright, so you found the jungler. That's good. He was trying to invade your jungle. He didn't come out here, so he has to be in the bush somewhere, or he went back down.
Oh my
Your
God.
Tryndamere is not helping you, which is not smart on his part. He should be helping you right now. This is fine by you.
How did that trap not hit?
I would leave now because you're 4 and
auto.
he's 5, so he's gonna beat you in an extended trade. And yeah, Nocturne's missing. Okay, I think that was fine. The Tryndamere should have came to help you, and maybe if you can correct something on that part. I don't know if Tryndamere is one of your friends in the call. If he's a friend of the call, obviously tell him. But if he's not, you just gotta spam ping him. You just gotta, like, he has to come help you there. If he came down to help you, I think you killed an. Oh, I think you would have killed the Kha'Zix. All right, good. Syndra's coming. Perfect. Kha'Zix is really dumb. So that was good. Yeah, you even noticed that you pinged the chat. Yeah, Kha'Zix made a really big mistake there. I don't know why he did that. That was just a pretty bad play on his part. Not gonna lie. So now I want to pause. Where are we? I want you to think about, this is a pretty key part of jungling too, is whenever you respawn, whenever you reset, you have to be thinking about what you want to accomplish next, what you want to do next. So I can't bring up the scoreboard because I'm watching the video file you sent me instead of like the actual replay file in the client. But you see that Tryndamere is backing, and you just cleared topside, and there's no objective to get. So there's quite literally 0 things to do topside because Tryndamere is not going to be there, so you can't gank. There's no objective to get yet, so there's no point in getting priority top and getting vision. And you just cleared your camp, so there's no XP to get. So all of topside, you can just completely cross out. So now you're basically left with this section of the map to make your decision on. And what do you see? You see dragon up, so you can make a play toward dragon. You see 2 camps up, so that's some XP you can get. And then you see a bot lane that's getting pushed in. So you have a potential gank bot lane, 2 camps to get, and then you want just general priority in this area and some vision over here to try and secure the dragon, right? On top of all of that, you can be checking, as you go in here, you can be checking your scoreboard and checking the lane state for your mid lane, because the other thing you have to think of is that what do you think the Kha'Zix is going to do, the enemy jungler, right? So Kha'Zix, you can see your bot lane's getting pushed in, so that's like easy for you to gank. But your Syndra is also pushing in the Katarina, which means you want to gank here. Kha'Zix wants to gank here. So the other thing you have to be careful of and think about is you want to be able to counter gank the Kha'Zix. That's like another thing you can do. So you can actually go to a lane that you think is like bad for a gank in the sense that it's bad for you to gank but good for Kha'Zix. And basically you want to anticipate, say like, I think Kha'Zix will end up going here. So I'm going to sit here and wait for him and take the 2v2 and kill him. So that's more involved. All right, yeah. Syndra ended up 1v1ing Katarina anyway. So that's good. Use this to help Syndra. Good. See if Kha'Zix is anywhere around here about to gank her. Looks like he's not. She should be safe. Nocturne's trying to roam mid. He's not level 6 yet though, so she should be fine. And now, oh, he is 6. I just misread it, I guess.
I might be warded. They just instantly backed up for no reason.
All right, you check for wards. That's fine. You see scuttles coming up, so you might want to even stay around river to try and get dragon
and
control.
They just saw you, so.
You still don't know where Kha'Zix is, so keep that in mind. Okay, this is good.
We're starting a hard shove. I want to delay it.
Alright, you found Kha'Zix. You're both level 5. You have more health.
Watch out. They're coming towards you.
So you know Katarina's missing, and their bot lane is going to try and push up river. So you can assume that they're going to try and take dragon control right now. There's Katarina. She's not level 6 yet, so you might be able to turn on her with Syndra when Syndra gets here. Yeah, go on her.
No.
Okay, good. So now you guys, this is a free dragon. So you just killed Katarina. So now there's a 4v3 bot lane, and you can basically get a free dragon.
I'm surprised Kha'Zix didn't go in there.
This is a mistake.
He did, but he backed
Don't chase
off.
Kha'Zix. Don't chase Kha'Zix.
Oh.
You want dragon right now. Okay, this is a big mistake. So what you want to be doing, you just killed Katarina, who is the highest damage output member of their team right now, even though she's not doing well. She has low farm. She's 0-3, but the point is, early game, your farm doesn't mean crap, and your score doesn't mean crap. The only thing that matters is your level and your items. She's level 5, which is the highest level on her team besides Nocturne. We're ignoring the top laner because we're talking about the bottom side of the map, right? So we're talking about these 4 people on both teams. Katarina is the highest level on their team. She has Ignite, which is a combat summoner spell. And even though she doesn't have a built item yet, she does have the first, I'll say, like, item piece on their team, right? So she's still doing more damage than the Kha'Zix and the Lucian right now. So even though she's doing bad, she's still the priority target for them right now. So you just killed her. She's gone. So now you have a situation where there's 4 on this side and 3 on this side, right? You want this dragon immediately. So what you should do is you should be spam pinging like the I'm going here ping, right, on top of the dragon, and then ping the help on Syndra. And you want Syndra to stand about right here and zone off the Kha'Zix. You want to be on the dragon, and you want your Caitlyn Morgana to first push in their wave, but the second their wave gets pushed in, they come back and rotate and help you fight the dragon right here. This is a completely free dragon for you to take as long as Syndra keeps zoning off the Kha'Zix. And if they engage on you, you automatically win the fight because you have 4 people and they have 3 people, right? So you have to be good at recognizing these situations where you have the advantage. And this time, you're not always going to be the one that gets it for your team. In this case, you were part of it because you helped kill the Katarina, but it's just your team in general killed the Katarina and created this advantageous situation. So as the jungler, it's your job to say, hey, we have an advantage on the map now. I'm going to go act on it. And you need to make sure that your team can support you in acting on it. Especially now where the Dragon Soul is so important in the new season. You really, really, really want, like, this. If there's any point in the game where you can get a dragon, you need to get the dragon because that will compound later on in the game. Like, you could have easily had a dragon right now.
But it's gonna be hard.
They're not hard to take early game. If your bot lane rotated, you were on it. Warwick specifically is good at taking dragons, even solo. I think like around level 4 and 5. So you probably could take it on your own.
Not me follow.
Okay, I'm glad you're taking it, but this is still a mistake in the sense that you didn't take dragon to get red buff. Your red buff's not going anywhere. You can always take a good way to think of the jungle. There's 2 types of camps. There's your camps, like ones that you kind of have in the bag and like should be able to get, and then there's contested or neutral camps. A good example would be the objectives, Rift, Scuttle, Rift Herald, Baron, and Dragon, right? So, or in this case also like invading your enemy jungler, right? Those are camps that are not guaranteed to you. You have to wait for a map advantage to act on those. You have to wait for a map advantage to invade. You have to wait for a map advantage to get the dragon or the baron. You have to wait for a map advantage to try and push up and get Rift Scuttle. All that kind of stuff. Your own camps on your side of the map, you can get whenever you want. Like, they're your camps, right? So always, 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 if you have an advantage or an ability to take one of those neutral objectives, in this case the dragon, get it first, and then go back and take the freebie camp that's like on your side of the map and is safe to take. If you skip the dragon to take your red buff and then go to dragon afterward, in a lot of cases, you're not going to actually have the map advantage to take dragon anymore. Sometimes your bot lane would have backed by then, and now it's like, oh crap, well, my bot lane was here 10 seconds ago and we could have taken dragon, but I chose to take red buff instead. And by the time I finished it, now I want to go take dragon, but my bot lane just pushed their lane and backed because I wasn't ready and they didn't think I was ready. So again, like I said in the very, very beginning of this video, there are some things I'm going to point out. Even if the mistake didn't hurt you in the video, I'm still going to point out the mistake. That way you can do it the right way from now on, and it's going to help you out in future games. The key to climbing in League, it's not a game-by-game basis. It's saying, how consistent can I be over a stretch of games, right? So what you want to do is you want to take 10 games, let's say. And your goal in League is not to go into each individual game and say, I have to win this game. It's going into that 10-game stretch and saying, I need to win 6 of these 10 games. As long as you're above 50% in those like 10-game long stretches, that's how you climb. And the only way to do that is to be consistent in terms of your decision making, your skills, your mechanics, how good you are. If you're rocky and all over the place, some games all the pieces will align, and even though you're making mistakes, it'll work out. In other games it won't, and you'll be very, very inconsistent.
Good.
And it'll be much harder to climb that way, because some games it'll be fine, and other games it'll be the I have the worst team in the world, I can't carry them type games.
Kha'Zix is behind us. Could probably catch him.
Good job.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that. Okay.
You can probably fight the Katarina still
Endermir's got
with
bot,
your
so
Syndra
we should.
and your Caitlyn.
Yeah. Fine.
I would push that wave in
Nice.
and try and get the tower there. All right, this is okay. You're basically letting the Caitlyn and the Syndra do that.
Stupid.
So I don't think you needed to come top, only because Nocturne's about to run out of minions anyway on his wave. So he's not going to be able to keep pushing. And because you didn't get there until he naturally ran out of minions anyway, he would have had to back at the same time, regardless of if he showed up or not. It might help in the sense that if he decides to like keep pushing and get another wave, then yes, you should go here because you're going to stop him. But I don't know if he would have done that on his own anyway.
If you can land a bind. Perfect. We just pretty much take this. They have nothing to pressure us with. Trendemir's bot too. Someone there?
This is good.
I wasn't watching, my bad.
I don't know if this is just a
yeah,
particularly good game by you, but you're playing better than a Silver 2 jungler. So maybe it's just because it's preseason and you're still getting your rank back. I didn't check what your rank was last season. I just checked your current rank, but
boots. I am gonna get some MR boots. No, that's trolling.
all right, this is good. Your whole level up. You see the Katarina on your minimap, so be careful about engaging too hard. You know Katarina can come help.
This is a bad fight. Watch out.
Yeah. All right, so that was very bad. I'm assuming you noticed because you kind of, I think that was you who said it yourself on the comms. That was a bad fight. And before it started, literally the first comment I made was, Katarina's there. You can see it on the minimap. Like, be careful. So I'm just gonna try and point that out to you. This is what was going through my mind. So when you were a little further ahead. All right, when you're here, right, your minimap, you see Katarina's mid lane, and you see the wave is perfectly even, right? So the wave's not pushing towards Katarina, which means that Katarina is completely free at any point in time to come up here, right? So you excuse me. You know about you have this information. You can see it on the mini map.
Yeah.
You know Kha'Zix is here. Okay, so now you see, okay, well, you're level 7, Kha'Zix is 6. So you should be able to beat Kha'Zix in a 1v1. The problem is, isn't a 1v1. So if you can pick off Kha'Zix, this is still worth doing. And what I mean by that is, let's say Kha'Zix steps up like toward the bush, and you can just ult his face, and that gives your Syndra time to come over and get a full combo off on him. And between your ult and your Q, maybe afterward, and Syndra's combo, you just one-shot the Kha'Zix. If you can do that, 100% of the time, engage this. This is always worth it. The problem is that if you can't do that, like when Kha'Zix was still going, right when he was here, right before he turned around, I know you don't have ult, but if you could have jumped on him then, like that instant, it would have been worth it. And maybe if you had ult, you would have. I don't know. Maybe you would have. But because you don't have ult, and because you don't have any sort of hard CC to jump on him immediately, and your Syndra wasn't on the same page, she was still back here. If Syndra was like in the bush with you, and you could have got both your combos on him at like immediately, that would have been a good engage. But because you're separated like this and you can't do that, what you have to be thinking is that, well, you don't have your ult, so you have no hard CC, and Syndra's not with you, so her burst is going to be delayed by however long it takes her to travel that distance, right? So what you need to think is like, okay, that means we can't burst Kha'Zix. And if we can't burst Kha'Zix, you have two options. Either A, you engage on him for the sole purpose of lowering his HP and making him nervous to be in the jungle, like you might reinvade. Or B, you all in him for a fight. I would have gone with A, and the reason why is because the Katarina we mentioned earlier. So even before the fight started, literally my very first comment was, I can see on the minimap that there's a Katarina that's pushing the wave, and at any point in time can just go whoop and come up like this. So if you cannot burst this Kha'Zix, which we already established you can't because of the couple conditions I laid out, that means you have to know that Katarina's coming. Because Katarina can see you on the minimap too, right? If Kha'Zix can see you, that means Katarina can see you. So what you do is you engage on the Kha'Zix. Oh, what the hell happened here? Alright, you engage on the Kha'Zix knowing that the Katarina's there.
Watch out.
And it's like, after you do it, I think you realize that you made a mistake. But what you want to do is be able to realize that before you engage. So I hope that makes sense. What I'm trying to say is that before you even engage on the Kha'Zix, you should have known, based on the clues you got from the mini-map, that that was going to be a bad fight. And the really annoying part, look at the scoreboard. Oh, damn it, I missed it. Look at the scoreboard.
Bad fight.
Sorry, I wait till it comes back up. You're going to see Katarina's score is specifically what I'm pointing out. So you lost your flash, and Syndra died, which is two very bad things. But that's what I want to point out. So Syndra was 3, 1, and 2 with a 25-ish CS lead, right? Syndra was pretty far, and she's a level ahead. Like, Syndra was very far ahead. Katarina was 0, 4, and 1. Katarina, and Syndra has a whole item. Katarina has exactly half of one item. Syndra was really, really far ahead of the Katarina, and because you decided to engage on the Kha'Zix, you killed a 1 and 2 Kha'Zix big whoop. Like, you were already 4-0. That didn't actually help you out at all. But what happened was that you caused your mid laner, who was way ahead, not only to die and lose her lane advantage, but you let this Katarina come back in the game, because she's now no longer 0 and 4. She's now 1 and 4. And Katarina, like any assassin, you give them a kill and they can snowball off the kill. Like, so that's the unfortunate part. Is that you killed Kha'Zix, so you went from 4-0 to 5-0, and Kha'Zix went from 1 and 2 to 1 and 3. Like, nothing really changed there, but yet the Katarina got a huge comeback off of killing that Syndra. So that's the effect of the play, and that's why I know I'm explaining a lot off of like very small things, but I think it's important to see the overall game impact of these small decisions, because a lot of the time, as a jungler, I know I tell myself, like, not necessarily even junglers, as a player, if your teammates die, your teammates make a mistake, like, there's nothing you could have done, like my teammates fucked up. But these are two instances now where you've gotten your Caitlyn killed by having a bad gank timing on that bottom lane gank in the early game, and you've gotten your Syndra killed and got the enemy Katarina back in the game by going in and causing the Syndra to have to follow you, or else you would have died if you 1v2. So she had to follow you to keep you alive, and then she ended up dying, which got her, it ruined her advantage, right? So those are two things that happened to your teammates based off of decisions you made. So I want that to stick in your head, because a lot of the times it's really hard to understand just exactly how you affect your teammates and how the KDAs are not self-contained to their own decisions a lot of the time. And sometimes they are. Like this Nocturne is still, I think, shitting on the Tryndamere, and that has nothing to do with you. I don't think their Kazakhs got the Nocturne ahead. You didn't necessarily get the Tryndamere ahead or behind or anything. Like that was just
How did I not get
strictly
anything?
on the other player. Good kill, by the way.
Flash.
But sometimes it is your
my
impact
God.
on the lane, like with the Caitlyn with the Syndra. Okay, so you don't have ult anymore. It's good you used it. You got a good kill on Nocturne. That was a very good kill. But that means I would not be diving this Katarina. Once this minion dies, I'd be backing up. Is she gonna die? Yep. Oh, Syndra. Okay. So not much you can do there. Syndra was dumb. And literally, I was explaining how you and Syndra were about to die to the Katarina, and then Syndra died to the Katarina. So whenever you have that low health and your minions are going away, that means that the tower is going to immediately aggro you. Obviously, you know this. So Syndra just didn't realize that and made a big mistake and stayed way too long. Yeah, stay here, push this, because both mid laners are dead. Whoa, no. Oh, this is terrible. Okay. Wave management. This is a huge thing. It's not as important for you because you're a jungler, but it's still very important when you do things like this, when you come into waves, or into lanes rather, sorry, and you kill the wave. You need to kill that whole wave. You cannot let the wave sit there. You just fucked over the Syndra. I'm gonna try and point it out as best I can, without like not having the tools to like pan over the map and stuff. Okay, pause. Okay, sorry, 1 second. All right, so this is the way that minion waves work, right? So you have enemy team 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minions. Your team 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's a sixth one right here. I paused the video a little too early. So it's 6v6 on the minions, right? All these minions are basically full health, and the only health difference is this little tiny bit, and it's the exact same on 2 of the minions. So these minions will even out. They will kill each other at basically the same rate, and they will stay in the middle of the lane. They're going to meet in the middle, they're going to fight here, and they're going to kill each other off at the same rate. Both mid laners died, so there's no one to influence the lane. So these minions will kill each other off and then die, and the next minions will come up, and they will also meet in the middle of the lane. Because this is where the lane end, this is where the minions ended, that's where the new ones will meet, right? So, however, what you want to do is you want to say, hey, this is all, these minions is basically a big pile of gold and a big pile of XP that since your mid laner is dead, your mid laner cannot get. So you might as well get it yourself instead of letting it go to waste, right? So that's like step 1, is recognizing that since your mid laner cannot get these minions and they're going to die anyway to the to your minions, they're going to kill them all off. You might as well be the one that grabs it, right? Because that's just gold and XP that's going to go to no one. It's completely wasted. But as the jungler, you want to grab these types of waves. Whenever you see a wave like this, that the minions are going to die either to tower or to the other lane minions for no reason, and like no one's going to benefit off the gold and XP, that's a free ticket for you to come in and take it. So that way, at least you get it instead of no one getting it, right? However, this is a tricky game because depending on how you leave the wave, that will determine if the wave pushes to or pushes away from, so pushes to or pushes away from your mid laner when they eventually do respawn and get back to lane, right? So what you did was you did step 1 correctly by recognizing that this wave, you might as well take it because it's free farm and XP, but stop. Okay, so what did you just do? So you've basically just caused a slow push going into the enemy lane. Not the enemy lane, going into the enemy turret in mid lane. So this is gonna be one of two things. You had the opportunity to. So my first question, and I want you to try and think about this yourself when you're like watching this VOD back, is question 1: why did you not take these 3? You may or may not have an answer. So I want you to think of that yourself. Think of an answer. Think of even if it's right or wrong, it's like whatever you were thinking at this time as to why you purposely left these 3 completely alive and left. Now I'm going to tell you that's whatever you're thinking is wrong. What you want to do is that if you were, let's say you killed these 3, let's say that they're not here, you killed them off. What happens to these minions? Notice how there's 3 of these now. They're the missing one that was like off screen eventually joined in. If you kill these minions off, your minions go like this. They walk right at the tower, and then the enemy tower goes and kills them all. And what's going to happen is that this is called fast pushing. What's going to happen is that the enemy tower is going to kill all of your minions. And since your minions died, now the enemy Katarina is going to miss all the golden XP from all of these minions. But you gained the golden XP from all her minions by killing them all. So this is what's called a basically in the most basic terms, it's just a gold advantage, right? You took a minion wave that there was 6 minions on each team, and you got the benefit from killing the minions on the enemy team, but no one on the enemy team is going to benefit from those 6 minions. So doing this over and over and over again throughout a game is how you can build small advantages, and these advantages really do count in the sense that not only in this case, let's say that extra gold you got was just enough for you to get your next item when you back next, or it was just enough to keep Katarina from getting her next item because you would have denied her all of these minions by pushing them under tower and having the tower kill them before she got back, right? So it's not just about getting you ahead, it's about putting her behind as well. Now, not only did you miss out on, so by not killing these minions, you missed 3 minions worth of golden XP, which is the minor thing. The medium thing is that you denied the ability to deny Katarina all of these things, because now this wave is going to sit here, right here, and kill these minions, and eventually it's going to kill them and push forward. But at that point in time, the next wave would have already been coming up, and Katarina will respawn soon too. So Katarina is going to miss way less than she would have. And on top of that, it means that the next wave is going to build up right around here, which puts Katarina in a good position because now she basically has a de facto freeze/slow push back onto Syndra, which is not where Syndra wants to be, because that's going to mean that Syndra is going to have to step all the way up here to farm anything, and that leaves her wide open to ganks from Kha'Zix, which is exactly what Kha'Zix wants to do because his Katarina is behind, so he has to get her back in the game by ganking. And you're basically saying you're putting Syndra in a spot where she has to step all the way up here to do anything, and that's going to allow her to get ganked and killed by the Kha'Zix, which is exactly what the enemy team wants. I know that was a lot, and I'm going to try and explain why. And you might be thinking like, well, then why does the Syndra have to go all the way up here? Well, when you do this, there's 6 people here and 3 people here. You are now your wave is going to slow push. It's not going to fast push. It's going to slow push. Maybe we do this arrow instead. If it fast push, like I said earlier, it would go on a turret, die, and the wave would reset right back, stab in the middle, because there'd be no interference by any of the minions since you killed these and then these all died on their own. Because these are going to fight for a little bit, this takes time for the fight. When this takes time, minion waves are going to be coming up the lane, and Katarina is eventually going to come up the lane herself. Now, since some time has passed, let's say that there's 5 of these left and 0 of these left. So now these are finally gone. These 5 are going to walk under tower. But they're going to walk under tower like maybe a whole 20-30 seconds later than they could have because you didn't kill this. And 20-30 seconds is a lot because Katarina's alive in 15 and it takes about 10 to walk down the lane. So in 30 seconds, Katarina's already back here. And now she only missed 1 minion because this was 6 and now it's 5. Instead of missing all 6. And then on top of that, let's say that there actually was another wave coming sooner, the wave, what would happen is that the wave would meet right here, and these 5 would meet right here, and that would create a freeze on Katarina's part, or at the very least, it would create a slow push where Katarina has now control of the minion wave, because the wave will meet here, and it will fuck over Syndra. Hopefully that made sense. If it didn't, feel free to message me afterward, and maybe I can do a little video in the practice tool just to show you like how killing the waves certain ways causes them to reset differently, and that can affect your laner and where they have to stand in lane when they come back. But I'm not gonna. I talked a lot on this. I don't want to keep over explaining.
Oh wow.
So sorry about that. But that was a huge mistake, and I hope that it made sense when I pointed it out, because that's something that you could have taken huge advantage of.
And she dies for this.
I want you to watch the wave on the minimap and see what happens, because you left it alive.
Push this with me. That's bad.
Surprised that worked out.
Alright, look at it. Pause. So, this is like a small effect of what I was saying. So, see how dead smack dab in the middle is going to be here? See how your blue minions are over that line? They're closer to Katarina. They're right here now. That's what I was saying when I was saying that the minion wave is going to be closer to Katarina's side when they eventually walk back. And you know that Katarina and Syndra died around the same time. So they're both, like, let's say they mirror each other. So Syndra's here. That means Katarina's going to be about here. So when they get back to lane, the minion wave is not going to be in the middle. It's going to be closer to Katarina. And if I had the tools to be able to pan over there right now, like a replay file, I'd show you that what's also happening is that Katarina's minion wave is going to be end up building up a bigger wave over time. So it's going to cause a slow push back. But that's what I was saying. You can see on the minimap now how the wave, it's not, this is the middle where mouse is, the wave's over here. It's shifted towards Katarina. That's all I wanted to point out.
Pink. I'm gonna start going top then.
All right, you died to Kha'Zix, which sucks because you were 5-0, but you did get the Rift Herald, so it overall it's a net negative, but depending on how you use the Rift Herald, it might turn out to end up being a positive for you if you can get some turrets with it.
Oh, my bad.
Specifically, you want turret plates, but the plating is gonna run up soon, so I think plating is like 14 minutes. I think
I don't know what I was thinking.
it cuts out. So you're cutting really, really close to the plating line. But that's a huge advantage of Rift Herald. So when you're getting Rift Herald, if you can end up getting it earlier on in the game, and this is like a very small detail. Let's say you got Rift Herald like a minute earlier. Let's say it was 12:40 instead of 13:40. Obviously, the main purpose of Rift Herald is getting at least 1, if not 2 towers. However, the other purpose of Rift Herald is gold generation. What I mean by that is, if you can get a tower when turret plating is still up, that's a huge chunk of gold for you and whatever laner is, like whatever lane you go to. So like if you were to go bot lane, for example, where there's still 5 plates up and use Rift Herald on bot lane, you would get 5 plates worth of gold on top of the tower instead of just getting the tower. So, and you can snowball really freaking hard off that gold, especially if, let's say, you were to get it with Syndra and then the gold split between you and Syndra, because Syndra's already pretty far ahead. That can be a huge snowball mechanic in your game.
I don't know what
Ooh. Oh! Ha! Nocturne fucked that up. That was pretty funny. Yeah, that was actually really funny. So that worked out really well because Tryndamere got the kill and Nocturne fucked up his flash, so Tryndamere survives and Kha'Zix is dead, so now you're going to get a free dragon, which is great. And you already got the Rift Heralds. Now you've got objectives on both sides of the map.
Oh, you guys got the Rifty.
I would go bot and use Rift Herald right now. Your bot lane's here, you're here, you have the advantage, you took dragon, I would use it. Unless your bot lane's like really, really low or something and they want it back, but I would have used it there.
He wants it back, he got plates.
I think that's a mistake. Unless I'm just very blind and the tower's already gone. which maybe it is. I can't see with the
too
stupid white bar on the screen. No, it's not. Yeah, I would have gone bot and I would have dropped Rift Herald and taken the tower. Because then you can, if they say they want to back, just tell them to shut up, because you can get tower. It'll take 5 seconds because you have Rift Herald, and then you back immediately after the tower. And the thing with that is that's huge, because even if, let's say it's only another, like, make up a random number, like 100 gold each, right? And they don't need it for the next item, but you're not doing it for the gold, you're doing it for the map pressure. If you get bot tower and you kill it, bot lane does not go back bot, they go mid and they try and take down mid tower. Or in this case, you already have mid, they would go top and they would push the Nocturne off and get this top tower. So the main goal, like the very, very basic macro in League, is you want to try and get all 3 outer turrets down as soon as possible. And the champion in the game that's the best at taking turrets 9 times out of 10 is your AD carry, because they can sit there and auto attack the tower and get the health down. So generally what you want to do, because bot lane is the tower that has no extra armor and magic resist in the beginning of the game, it's the easiest to take. You want to try and get bot lane tower, kill it, then have your bot lane recall, and then go mid, and then with your mid laner push down mid lane tower, kill it, recall, and then go top and have your bot lane tower push down top. Your bot lane push down top tower. That's generally what you want to do. Obviously adapt it for every game. But so 9 times out of 10 what you want to do there is sprint bot side, place the herald, get the turret, and then after that have your bot lane back, because then when they back, they can now just go top lane. Now that their tower is still up, they can't go top lane and exert pressure on the map. They have to go back bot to try and kill the tower that they could have already killed.
I'm dead. There's no point. I just die. Yeah.
So that's and then because you didn't take that tower, unfortunately, what ended up happening is that enemy team ended up killing your bot lane. So that's not necessarily your fault. That's just more of like, when you're, it seems like the bot laner is someone in your calls by like listening in. So maybe in games when you're not duo queue with the bot lane, that's a situation where you just start spam pinging that you're coming bot, and you spam ping the herald, and you make them stay and you make them take it with you. Especially because you're a 5-2 Warwick, like you're taking control of the game, and Warwick falls off late game. Yeah. So like this is the prime part. Like the mid game right now is when you want to start taking control and exerting map pressure and making plays. You are not a Yi that's going to continually scale throughout the game, and like the later it goes, the better. Like you want to make plays now, and you want to be decisive now.
Oh shit. That's really bad. Oh shit. Driving is actually insane.
Alright, you know with Tryndamere ult that he can dive the tower. So just try and take this with him. And save that Rift Herald, because you can get 2 towers out of this if you play it well. No. Stay top. Stay top. Stay top. Stay top. You want 2 towers. Don't let Nocturne kill the Herald. This is why you want to stay top. He's going to kill the Herald now. Alright, so I'm not going to pause and explain. Hopefully you can figure it out on your own, but you wanted to stay top there for that exact reason. Just that Nocturne is a lot stronger than Tryndamere. So if you let them 1v1, Nocturne is going to get the advantage, and he's going to kill the Herald. And now you only got 1 tower out of it when you could have got... At the very least, you could have done a lot of damage on the second tower, right?
Optimistic cues. Yeah, like that.
And it didn't end up costing you anything, right? Because what you did is you went here, turned around, went back, turned around. Like you kept doubting yourself and checking if you should go back or not. So because you spent all this time just doing nothing in the jungle, it's not like you were doing anything that would have been a sacrifice if you just stayed top. So if you just stayed top, you would have gotten the extra tower, and then you could have just walked downward.
Like one day engage. Watch out behind. Back up. You don't have Q. Yeah, I'll follow. This. No, that's bad.
Make sure you save the Syndra. That's priority 1. Okay, that's good. Now you see a low health. See if you can assassinate them. You see Nocturne top. and you see Tryndamere mid, so you know it's a 4v4. You've pushed them all off, which is fine, but they still have vision in the form of the Rift Scuttle.
Tryndamere needs to keep pushing.
Tryndamere's pushing. Kayla Morgana are gonna push, and I think it looks like Nocturne back. No, Nocturne didn't back, but Syndra's going, so Syndra already has it covered. So unless Syndra can't 1v1 him, you don't need to go here. Because if he's smart, you shouldn't be able to kill him. This is more just to get him off the tower. He's 3 levels ahead of you. This is a bad idea unless Syndra can do some nasty burst damage. Don't chase him. You can't do anything. He's 3 levels ahead of you. I would not chase. Yeah, see? So, no, don't do it. Don't chase him. Don't chase him. You're wasting a lot of time. You're wasting so much time that you should be in the jungle and getting XP and getting gold right now. All those minions should have been Tryndamere's. And you should have been in the jungle getting your own XP and gold. That way, you guys wasted a lot of time there. So, in the future, Nocturne was 3 levels ahead of you. So, it didn't even matter that he outran you. If he didn't outrun you, like, you don't do anything to him anyway. He's way stronger than you are right now.
Oh crap! That's not good.
You've spent a lot of your mid game.
Oh,
here, hold on.
Always unlucky, dude.
This is another tip. You've spent a lot of your mid game walking around the jungle and not actually doing anything. We're just kind of like trying to decide what to do while you're walking around. There's the example one I gave when you decided to not push top lane with Rift Herald. Instead of like, if you were going to decide to not do that, that's fine, but you have to do something else instead. But you didn't do anything. You weren't getting vision, you weren't getting camps, you weren't ganking. Instead, you walked through the jungle lanes and then kept turning around and like being indecisive of what you should be doing. And all that is just wasting time. Another example is when you just spent 20 seconds chasing a level 13 Nocturne down top lane, that even if you caught up to him, you wouldn't have known what to, like, you would just died if you actually caught him. As your level 10 Warwick into a 13 Nocturne, like he's gonna one-shot you. All that time could have been spent getting jungle camps, and now you have a Kha'Zix who you were dominating. I think he was 1-2-2, and you were like 5-0 at one point in the game, and now he's a level ahead of you. So try to keep that in mind too, is that you just kind of stopped farming at one point in the game. Like, I think you played your early game fine, and then when mid game came around, you didn't exactly know what to do, and you ended up just running around between lanes in the jungle a lot, not actually doing anything while you're running around, just like literally running back and forth. And look at the farm right there. Kha'Zix is now 30 farm ahead of you. He was 5 kills behind you, and now he's 30 farm ahead. That's huge. This is a good play.
Nice. Should be double.
That was a really, really dumb teleport. That's fine, just leave. You tried it, that's fine. Now you want dragon, you can just solo it. Kha'Zix got pushed out, and their strongest player just died.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that. I think you guys out here.
Don't keep hitting dragon if you don't have smite, dude. You need to kill the Kha'Zix. Okay, that's really dumb. Hold on, what are you doing, dude? Okay, so you're here. This is fine.
That's a free Drake.
Because as long as Syndra's pushing them out, this is fine.
I don't know what.
When Syndra comes in here, what's going through your head? You're saying, okay, well, Syndra's no longer zoning. That means that Kha'Zix and Katarina can come, right? So now you realize, oh shit, I don't have smite. I think you pinged it. Yeah, you pinged it to your team. So you said, fuck, I don't have smite, and Syndra's no longer zoning. So in your mind, you know that you can't secure this, and you know that the enemy team now has access because Syndra's no longer zoning. In order to zone, Syndra should be like up here on your minimap. See where my line is? That would be the equivalent of like up here. She's not. She's here, which is right here. So she's no longer zoning. She's giving all this space. She's giving up, and she's allowing Kha'Zix to get close. If she could keep Kha'Zix away from the dragon, you can keep doing this without smite, because you can solo it. Like, you're not going to die. But since she's not zoning, Kha'Zix can walk all the way up to here. And if he can walk here, that means he can go into the pit and smite it. So because she's not zoning and you don't have smite, this has to be going off in your head like a huge red flag to be doing this dragon right now, because you're literally just leashing this for Kha'Zix, right? You have to assume he has smite, because if you don't know, you have to assume he does have it, and you know you don't have it. So you know that you can't secure it. So you're just getting it lower and lower, inviting him to come take it from you. What you need to do is this second either leave or jump on Kha'Zix, because there's 2,000 health left. There's no possible way you're going to do 2,000 damage before Kha'Zix takes the half a second to go 1-2 steps and then goes like right here and then smite it. So when you're in this situation, you have to decide, either I'm leaving, either like you're flashing over this wall and getting out, or you're all-inning the Kha'Zix and trying to kill him so that he can no longer smite this dragon from you, right? You have to make one of those two decisions. Continuing to leash the Drake for Kha'Zix is not an option. This is just not a good idea. And you're gonna find that out because he's gonna smite it from you.
Okay.
Right there.
Yeah.
So Kha'Zix got it. You killed him, which is like fine, but you wanted the Drake. You didn't want. There's no reason why he could have got that Drake. If you had just jumped on him initially, you would have still killed him with Syndra, and then you would have just turned back on the Drake afterward and taken the Drake too.
Oh.
You didn't have to do it. You didn't have to give him the Drake and then kill him. You should have killed him first and then taken Drake. Even if you had Smite, though. Because even if you had Smite, why would you want to risk it? Why would you want to 50-50 Smite it when you could just kill him first and then take it yourself? Always try and do things the safer way if there's a safe option to do it, right?
Lucian's missing.
And it's easier to see these types of things in a VOD, like after, when you're rewatching the game. So, I don't expect you to just like, I mean, you're silver too, like you're not a god at the game, that's fine. But hopefully now that you're seeing a VOD, and I'm sure a lot of the things I'm pointing out are things that even if you just rewatched this game on your own, you would have at least to some extent picked them up yourself, right? So now that you see them, what you want to do is be actively looking for them in your future games and saying like, oh, I've been in this situation before, I know what to do now, and then play it differently from now on.
This is bad positioning. Oh. Kha'Zix?
Alright, I'm going to try and speed through the game a little bit because I spent a lot of time explaining very specific choices and plays, and I'm sure this video is going to be pretty long by now. You do win the game in the end. So I think from this point on, my help is going to be less helpful because the game's kind of set up for your team to win. You're winning 23-10 in overall kills. And really their team seems to suck other than this Nocturne. Who, remember, he's level 14, you're 11, like this. Hopefully you can get him, but it's gonna be very close. Okay, sweet.
Oh, right here. Nice.
So fighting in your minions helps. That was good that you got him. But now their best player's dead, so you guys can basically have control of the map whatever you want. I'm going to speed through this a little bit because, like I said, since you do win the game, at this point, your team's just probably as a whole is just going to steamroll and end the game out.
Did your ult
what
get
happened here?
canceled? What happened?
Let's look at this. Okay, so you try to clear. You notice that they're engaging. You go to your team. This is fine. Then, whoa. Okay. So, what do you see? You see... my pen. You see a Tryndamere that's already activated ult, so he's about to die. Like, whenever ult wears off, he's dead. And you see a Syndra who is running away from the fight with very low health. So you can assume that her abilities are on cooldown and she has low health if she's running away. This is not a fight you want to engage on because you have a teammate that already has his death certificate signed. He's just waiting for ult to wear out and then he's dead. And another teammate who's running away with half health. So it's realistically, it's you and Syndra versus these two full health enemies. And she's even gonna die, it looks like. So you're engaging on a fight that's basically just you and a Tryndamere with no ult.
What?
Who is now flashed. Yeah, this is like, why are you even going in still? You just need to turn around, dude. There's not much. I don't think there's much more to say. You just need to. Oh, what the hell? Sorry about that. I don't know if it was ahead or behind where you were. Here, okay. Yeah, so you just need to turn around. So I'm nothing to help. Like, seeing these situations before you actually enter them would be huge. This is like not the first time you did this game, where you just chosen a really, really obviously bad fight and all in on it. See how like they can't help you, like, but you should have known they wouldn't be able to help you because Syndra was dying when you went in, and Tryndamere already popped his ult and had no health. So you knew that they were both like out of the fight. So you were basically going in on your own.
Willis top again.
Let me see what the scoreboard. Oh god. Okay, here. This is why. I'll tell you right now. I think what I said earlier too. Your comment was that you thought you could have closed the game out sooner. And in general,
Willis,
whenever you have a league game, right, and is lasting a really long time. So look at your score right now. So just look at your team. You have a 2-4 Tryndamere, an 8-3 Warwick, that's you, an 11 kill Syndra, a 7 kill Caitlyn, and then a support that's doing pretty well. She's even level with the other support, 2-2-7. That's like a respectable KDA. On the other team, you have a Nocturne that's KDA doesn't look great, but he's got a shit ton of farm, right? So he's still very strong, even though he doesn't have a lot of kills. A Kha'Zix who's doing manageable. He has 5 kills, so even though he died, and he has a lot of farm. So even though he died 6 times, he still has a lot of gold on him. The Katarina, that's pretty much she's sucking. She's down 2 levels. She has very little farm, and she only has 4 kills. And then an AD carry that's doing okay. 5 kills and a lot of farm, but also 5 deaths. So what I'm getting at is that just naturally in League, as the game goes longer, the death timers get longer, and the key, I'll call them key impactors of the game. So usually on each team, there's 1 or 2 players who are really, really impacting the game. And this can change as the game goes on and gets later. But in this case, it's you and Syndra. It's very clearly you and Syndra that are the 2 key impactors on your team right now. So whenever you or Syndra, or even worse, both of you die, your team is fucking useless. So nothing's gonna happen on your team if you and or Syndra die. And on the other team, it's kind of similar, where they're a little more evened out, so it doesn't apply as much to them, but it's gonna be Nocturne because he has a lot of good items, a lot of farm, and he's a split push presence with his ultimate, and he's a gauge presence. And then honestly, it's probably either going to be Lucian or Kha'Zix. That's the next one. So for them, if one of those people die, the rest of their team is going to be most likely useless because they're not going to be able to pressure the map adequately with the rest of the people alive. So even though you played the early game great, in the mid game okay, like, well, you still have a good KDA, right? You just died, so you really had like 8, 2, and 3. But as the game goes on, your deaths mean more and more and more, because not only is your death timer longer, so you're out of the game for longer, but your team's relying on you. You are a big chunk of your team's gold in that gold advantage you have. So if you're off the map, it's not like a 4v4. It's more like if you were 30% of the team's strength, now it's 70% strength versus 90% strength, right? So like if their Katarina dies, who's fucking useless, and you die, it's not like 4v4 is not even, because it's your team is their 4 weakest people, like their strongest guys out, and the other team is their 4 strongest people. So that's what I want you to get. And 9 times out of 10 with games like this, if they're dragging on, it's because the key player on whatever respective team is like ahead but can't close out keeps getting caught out and dying. And try to segment your game into chunks. Like I said, you played the early game pretty well, actually. I thought you played the mid game okay. You wasted a lot of time and were not very decisive, but you didn't like straight up int. And then the late game is a whole different beast because of the extended death timers, because of the scaling, because of macro in map sense matters a ton more in late game because you're basically rotating as a team or split pushing and trying to exert pressure on the map, or to take objectives, right? So even if you play one or two of the game, like the sections of the game well, it does not mean you play the whole game well. And unfortunately, the late game, especially in low elo solo queue, tends to be the section that matters the most because you can be rocking the game, absolute boss, like 10-0-0, but then you die at 30 minutes in the game. And now the rest of your team without you sucks. So now they're in a 4v5. 30 minutes into the game, even if the other team's really behind, now they go take Baron. Well, now you're dead. The other team has a Baron, and your team was really stupid and decided to go try and contest the Baron fight 4v5. So now 3 of them die. I'm giving out a random scenario that I'm sure you've experienced before, right? Like this happens. And this is where a lot of those games come from, where it's like, my team sucks, I couldn't carry, I did so well, and they sucked. A lot of it is because the player that does really, really well in the early and mid game makes one stupid error in the late game. So even though you only made one dumb error, the errors in the late game matter so much more than errors in the earlier mid game. So it can be like one dumb error can literally cost you the game if you're the one carrying. I said all that because I'm assuming that's how this game went, because your comment was that you couldn't close out. It looks like there's another 10 minutes here, and you guys, I mean, like, you guys probably should have won already. 3 dragons to 1. You're up 12 kills. So I'm not going to keep watching because this video is going to be way too long. But that's why I said all that, because I'm sure that most of that applies to the rest of this game. So let me just speed through and see what happens. Yeah, you guys are just going to finish it.
It's just not.
All right, so
We still lost that.
hopefully all these tips helped. Get off that. Hopefully all these tips helped. Hopefully you get something in this game. Try to take what you've learned in this VOD review and apply it to your next game. And when you get in those situations, it's not going to happen immediately. It's not going to happen right away. Like, that's fine. But try, even if you have to come back and watch this again later on, try to apply all these different ways of thinking to, like, when you get into a gank, and when you go to a bot lane gank, make sure you engage at the right time and don't wait too long. When you are choosing to engage a fight or not, make sure you analyze, are my teammates here? Are they healthy? Can they help me? Am I just running to my death, or am I running to a good fight? Kind of stuff like that. And anything else I pointed out in the video, try to take that into your future games and analyze the situations. Hopefully you can learn from this. If you need me to re-explain or say anything else, just contact me on Discord, and I'll be very happy to either message you the answer or make a new video or make something clear. That's fine. If you have more questions about waves and how you can impact the waves, I know that was one thing I touched on, and even if it's just like to not mess them up by accident, let me know, and maybe I can make a video in the practice tool where I can just have the waves like running into each other, and I can just affect them differently to show you how they react. I think that's something that a lot of people don't even understand, like how waves react different ways to like how you end up killing them, and stuff like that. So good luck in solo queue. Hopefully this helps, and I will see you eventually.